Hello guys and welcome. So in this session we will be proceeding the reconnaissance and footprinting, and we will talk about WHOIS. So basically WHOIS is a database that is maintained by regional internet registries and contain all the personal information of the domain owner. So basically when you want to register a domain, let's say mydomain.net or .com or whatever, you need to log in to use domain registrar like GoDaddy, for example, and other service providers, and log in via your email, your phone number, your name. You pay via a credit, debit card, whatever, and you register this domain for a duration of 1 year or 2 years. And then when it will expire, then you need to renew it as well. So basically, it contains all the domain name details, the contact details of the domain owner, the domain name server, where is the server that you are, hosting the files of that domain, the net range, and when it was created, when it was expired, and what are the records. Why WHOIS is useful in hacking? Because actually, you may be able to identify the name of the owner who registered the domain. So if we are targeting yoti.com, we can check their details on WHOIS, and we can try to identify the email that they used to register this domain. Maybe we can then brute force the password, or maybe use this email in other attacks. Also, it can be done to make social engineering attacks. But to be realistic, in penetration testing, in bug bounty hunting, social engineering is not allowed. But if you are doing red teaming somewhere, then yes, you can do it. So let me go directly. We have a very good, you see, because they are having an ad sponsored. So when you type WHOIS, GoDaddy showed up directly. So we have whois.com, and we also have this one I usually use. So a lot of tools for the same usage as usual. They are under maintenance. Okay, here. Well, if we type yoti.com and we search for it, we fill the CAPTCHA, hit go. So we will get to see a lot of information about the domain. So usually you see registrant redacted for privacy. So in the WHOIS, or when you register the domain on GoDaddy, for example, you can choose that you want to redact your name for privacy, but you pay additional charge. Or if you use Cloudflare as a web application firewall, you can also tell the firewall, I need to protect my email, avoid it exposed, and you pay additional charge. The problem is, for the intelligence agencies or the cybersecurity companies that have very good connections here and there, they can bypass this, and they can actually know the main guy that is registrar. It is not our scenario today, but if we are targeting alone, like if we are by ourselves trying to find vulnerabilities, we cannot review it. But what we can do is identify more useful information. So we know when the first time that the domain was created. Yoti.com was first time created in 24/3/2002. And we can know when is the last time that it was updated, renewed. So 21/2/2023. This year. And the expiry date, it expires in 24/3/2024, so after kind of 1 year. There is a vulnerability here that is called domain takeover. So domain takeover is simply you monitor the expiry date, and once it is expired, you go directly and buy the domain. So the domain owner will no longer be able to buy it now or renew it because he already bought it. And then you can sell this domain to the owner, actual owner, with higher price. Or use it to spoof all the clients, impersonate the owners, and try other attacks. In bug bounty, this is accepted, and I will show you when we finish. This is one of the vulnerabilities that is useful, and you can use as well. And also you will see that we identify the name servers and the tech contact, even the contact number of the people who registered this domain is redacted for privacy. So they are doing some protection, good for them. The IP address, where it is hosted, and it is hosted on a dedicated server. The location, the IP history, the registrar history, and all of this later we will go on in details, how to track the IP address, how to see this IP address to which domain before it was belonged, because maybe this IP address, because it is a dedicated server, so probably there will be more than Yoti domain on the same server. So if you hack the server, you hack all the domains. There is something called the reverse IP address. So instead of putting yoti.com to check, we put the IP address, and we check how many domains they have. So we're doing reverse IP address, and for now we only identified yoti.com, one domain hosted on this IP address. What we can do is viewing the IP history. So we can see, was there a domain before? It is not free service, it is paid. I guess. Yeah, probably it is paid service. It's fine. I will show you later how we use security trails to track the IP address. Registrar history. Let's see. Okay. Hosting history. Okay. Well, we can use another tool. Remember, I told you don't rely on one tool. Okay. So we got some information. Oh, it is. So here you don't see redacted for privacy, but you see the WHOIS server, which is not correct. Yeah. This is the registrar info, but the owner of this WHOIS, so it is not correct. We got to see the DNSs. So you see how it is redacted for privacy? The phone, the fax, the postal code, only London, and the organization name is found. And they are providing the email of the external service provider, third party that is used this. And we can check here as well, yoti.com. So checking multiple sources will provide multiple information. Well, I think I typed the wrong place here. I should do it. The reason why I mistype on the keyboard is because I'm used to the Mac keyboard, which is smaller. That's why. Also the same, we can see that we identified the third party. So if we hit here, if we go here, they are similar to GoDaddy, and they create a domain for you, and they do web hosting. You can see. So probably it's not on GoDaddy. If we go here, yes. So registrant was not known in the domain tools, but in WHOIS, this one and this source, we identified that they are using Gandhi as a host service provider and a web hosting as well. So it is not GoDaddy, it is Gandhi.net. And these are the raw WHOIS data, so this is useful. It's the expiry date as well is useful, this one. The registrar, we knew now they use Gandhi. And all of these things are redacted for privacy. While if you use, and the name servers as well, the DNSs are also on Gandhi.net. And we can see here, so only this place showed us the IP address, the main IP address here is hosted on a dedicated server. So we can analyze this IP address. If we go here to check host.net to check the IP address, here, and we hit the IP address, yes, we can see that it is Yoti organization, and it's pointing to Yoti as an ISP. Yeah, but it is not mentioning Gandhi somewhere. So either they hide it here, or they host the IP address, the DNS, the domain is hosted on Gandhi server as well, because they are also service providers as well. VPS, cloud hosting. It is fine. We can do further investigation and identify, but for us, no need. So let me show you another easy example. My domain, actually, I don't have all these protections, I guess. So when we type my domain, you will also see the registrant is redacted for privacy. The privacy organization also, okay, we identified the registrar here. So it is Namecheap Incorporation. So if you go here, it is similar to Gandhi.net, but it is another service provider. And you will see that they have, you can buy here domains and also host on their server as well. You will see first time I registered the domain, the expiry date after 1 year, and when I updated it, and my DNS servers also on Namecheap, and the tech contact is also redacted for privacy. So I remember probably, and here you will see the IP address 505 other sites hosted on the same server, because I am hosting my website on the Namecheap server. So a VPS server that also 504 sites other than my website are hosting their websites also on the same Namecheap server. And this is the details. The contact information are redacted for privacy. You see, so you cannot get my email, and here only you get the email of the ISP, the service provider. So if you are an intelligence agency, if you are a governmental sector that works in security, you can email this, message them, and tell them, probably, for example, this guy is a terrorist, for example, or is a bad guy, and we need to know the email. If they identified that, actually, really, this guy is a bad guy, and it's infecting or affecting the national state of the country or wherever, then they will reveal the email. That's why we say there is no privacy on the internet. Yes, there is a privacy for us if personal level or a hacker trying to attack you, but if it is a national state, issue, then there is no privacy. And also, we can review the main WHOIS providers, the ones who assign the IP addresses. If you remember, we talked about them before, the ICANN. For more information about the WHOIS data, you can go to here. And let us go here. And let us go here, out of curiosity. So I guess we can try search for me. No results. Good. Okay, I guess there was a way I can look up, I guess. Yes, here we go. So now getting the WHOIS records from the main providers of the IP addresses and the DNSs. Maybe they will have more information. So contact information, Namecheap, and even here they redacted our information for privacy. And also provided you the email and the phone number of the ISP, which is Namecheap, in case you want to contact them. Redacted for privacy. Nice. Well, out of curiosity, let me check my brother website. Also redacted for privacy. Nice. There is a website we usually do test on, evil.com. Okay, also redacted for privacy. So you will see this is, a version, whenever you want to register the domain, it is included. You pay more for security and, they will include it. So this is just an example. Here what you need to focus on is the expiration date if you want to target a domain. So for example, I can show you a report on HackerOne, domain takeover, HackerOne, So just we can get results from HackerOne. Domain takeover, not subdomain, we need a domain takeover. So 2 reports, we can look into them. So here, I discovered that it was identified in Reddit. You all know what is Reddit. It is a forum online, and they gave him $500 for it in 2021. So I discovered that reddit.ru, the Russian website of Reddit, vulnerable to DNS hijacking via DNS provider reg.ru. This is the service provider. So it allows the attacker to control the content. Okay, explanation, proof of concept. So there is something called DNS hijacking. And he was able to manipulate the DNS records in order to change the TXT record that are related to the mail to his username on HackerOne. And they accepted it and they paid him for it. You can go to this report and check it. So basically this is the number of the report. Just type hackerone.com/reports and type this number. The interesting one is like this. So domain takeover in Basecamp. So this guy was analyzing the mobile application, the Android app, and he found that this website 3737signals.com that is related to Basecamp, because if we go here to Basecamp and we go to the scope, we can see the website. Okay, they removed it, but before there was a website related to this. Yeah, now it is not showing. Probably they updated the scope. So anyways, they had this signals.com and the star here. It means that all the things related to this domain are in scope. So he identified that 3737signals.com is found in the source code of the application. It is found here. You can see it. It is found here in the source code of the application. So when he opened the domain, he got a DNS error that is stating the domain name doesn't exist. So domain name doesn't exist means that there is no DNS matched to this. So what he did is he went to the webmaster, which is a DNS provider, and we can show you here. Webmaster.com, it is a DNS provider where you can register as well, web hosting, everything. And he searched for the domain, and this one, the 3737signals.com, and he identified that the domain is available and can be registered. So if you do it with GoDaddy also, yes, you can do it as well. Yeah, so it's not about Webmaster, so don't get confused. You can go to GoDaddy and try to look for this domain, and you will see that it was opened for registration, and you can register it. So he reported it, and they accepted it, and then they fixed it. Sometimes they miss a domain, so by that you can get the opportunity and register it directly in any service provider. We saw GoDaddy, we saw Gandhi.net, we saw my place where I register, Namecheap, and you can get a bounty for it, like this guy, for example. So this is one vulnerability we've discussed today, which is good. Let's proceed with the slides. So this is the WHOIS Lookup. See the difference between my explanation and the slides? I don't usually stick to the slides, and you see me. So the reason why I don't write notes here is because I need you to look for everything I'm talking about and generate your own notes. Yeah, so basically, I advise you to maybe install Microsoft OneNote like this, or you know, get your own note. You see how many notes I have, and start creating your own notes. For example, all things we mentioned here, you need to write down them. For example, in notes like this, for example, WHOIS record, we use these tools. WHOIS records, then you can do like this. We have the tools, 1, 2, 3, you know, this tool, and this tool. So by that, you will have a very good reference. Whenever you want to apply something or you want to test something, you have everything available for you. So write down notes, separate them into sections, maybe folder with you know, sections as well. It will be very useful for you. So WHOIS records, we finished from it. And these are all the tools, and not all, sorry, some of the tools, but use the ones that I showed you. This one, whois.com, and this one, whois.domaintools.com, and this one, who.is. These ones that I usually use. So these tools for the mobile app, I don't think we need tools for the mobile. DNS Footprinting as well. So here we talk about the records. You see that the A record means that this is the main IP address of the domain. So let me show you DNS Lookup. And this tool is very important and very common, and we all use it. mxtoolbox.com/DNS. So here, if we type here mxtoolbox, and you will see all the DNS records that you may try is found here. Lot of stuff. So WHOIS is also found here. You can use it. Check your DNS server. Check your DNS protocols. DMARC for the email spoofing. SPF for the email spoofing. MX for the domain as well. So you can check TXT as well for the emails and these pointing things. So lot of things that you can try to check. MX means that it points to a mail server. MX is the mail server. So if we type here yoti.com, I need to know their mail server. I hit enter. I will get results of all the mail servers that they usually use. Your email service provider is Google Apps. Well, let me check my website. mail.ahmedhalabi.net. So my reported by, okay, my mail server is from also Namecheap. Okay, good. So see the difference? Yoti is using Google as a mail server. Me, I'm using Namecheap. NS means the host name server. So it is not the host name server. So let us type here NS. So NS is similar to the DNS, domain name server. The NS alone is the name server. So actually it is the same as DNS. So DNS to check, DNS lookup here. DNS record found. I have DNS and it is on Namecheap as well. So if we type yoti.com, why this is important for you to understand? Because actually it is important to know what is the domain, where is the domain is registered, what DNS records this domain has, and more. So remember I told you Yoti is registered on Gandhi. So with a simple, quick DNS lookup without WHOIS, we were able to identify that also the DNS is hosted on Gandhi, as we saw before in the WHOIS records. So it is a different way to check all the records as well. CNAME means that if you have a similar domain name for it, if you have an alias, for example, I can make this yoti.com and I have a CNAME to it, which is yoti2.com. So if I go to yoti2.com, I will be redirected to yoti.com. So CNAME is actually means that this is an alias to this. So both are the same, but you can access this one from different names. So this is what CNAME means. And we can see if they have CNAME. So here we just look for CNAME. Yes, CNAME lookup, yoti.com. I don't think they have. So they don't have CNAME. You see, DNS record published, DNS record not found. Not found means that there is no CNAME. Let me check my website, and I don't have CNAME. CNAME is good for the subdomain takeover, which we will talk about in the future. So, and other things to go through, unstructured text records, IP address to a host name, and all other things. So you can check, you can, for example, do on Google, DNS records explained. What is DNS? And you can read more articles about it and what are the records. Each record, what does it represent? How to use it here. So A records mean the IP address, the IP version 4. The AAA record, the 4A's record means that the IP version 6. And the common name server, and others. So no need to memorize, only you need to know the main things, the A, this one, the C name, and for the email spoofing, the DMARC and the SPF, and we will talk about them later. You know, just these things. Okay. Network range, extracting the IP address. We showed on WHOIS how we can get the IP address. And we will have a completely different sessions to do the port scanning, the service enumeration, how to identify how many IP addresses are related to this, company and more. So this is useful just quickly. So this is type of reconnaissance and collecting information outside the technical things. So this is, if we can say that it is social engineering. Eavesdropping means that you are unauthorized to listen to a conversation or read a message, but you can do it. So you are listening to what the person is talking in the next room without him knowing that you are listening to. So you are intercepting and acquiring any information about the communication that is happening between that guy in the other room and the one on the phone, or two guys talking together. So pretending to be doing something, but at the same time you are listening to what is being said. Listening to everything from audio, video, and written things. This is what they call eavesdropping, and this is used in social engineering. When you usually conduct penetration tests, physical penetration test, physical assessment. For example, like I guess 1 or 2 months ago, I conducted the physical pen test in a hospital, and I used all these three methodologies. So I went to the garbage and tried to extract, to pull out some papers, check that the papers are not destroyed well, so you can, get them back and read everything. So all of these, mechanisms are important. Well, shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing is a technique where you, as an attacker, secretly observe the person in front of you to gain critical information. So let's say, like this one, this is on the desk, this is the attacker. So here you are looking at his computer and checking everything that is typing, and maybe, using photos as well. This is what they call shoulder surfing, because he doesn't see you and doesn't know that you are behind him and recording everything. And dumpster diving is simply looking inside the trash, checking the phone bills, the contact information, the documents, the files that they were thrown, maybe a receipt to get some numbers of the, bin codes, and extract them, then use them in other attacks to chain them. All of these things can be done. So for physical and social engineering penetration test. We have a lot of other tools. For example, no, this is something different. Maltego to map all the network segments and check, the profiles. We will talk about all these things later. So basically, my job is not to tell you exactly what is mentioned in the slides, but I use it because instead of getting slides from the internet, I find that they have some useful things and we can use it as well. So you can read them. It will have a lot of very good knowledge for you. So in this session, we can consider that we finished the brief reconnaissance topic because we didn't dive in the details yet. So probably I'm not going to dive in the next session in the details. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to talk about something else to change the mood. And then we will come back to the reconnaissance and we will talk more in depth and use the actual tools and show you actual scenarios as well.